This is Evening News for Thursday, October 17, 2013. I'm Samuel Signandan. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight. Steps being taken to revive ERC and expand its constituency. Queen's Atlantic Investment Incorporated makes significant investment in manufacturing sector. Carl Singh still to be appointed Chancellor. Venezuela and Guyana foreign ministers meet in Trinidad and Tobago. Students can now learn Portuguese in schools, and progress on anti-money laundering bill stalled. And now for the news in detail. The appointive committee of the National Assembly will be submitting a report on the Ethnic Relations Commission (ERC) when Parliament resumes, as it seeks to add 3 new constituencies to the list of commissioners. The details in this report. Chairperson of the committee in Parliament, Dr. Norton, told this newscast that there have been some recommendations made that were accepted by all members of the committee to bring new life to the ERC. He explained that the ERC comprised of 7 persons from different constituencies. This included 3 representatives from religious bodies, namely Hindu, Muslim and Christian, 1 from Labour, the private sector, youth and 1 from a women's group.
We added on another group, which is referred to as a cultural ethnic group, and that comprises of the 3 main ethnic groups in Guyana, that is the East Indian, the Afro-Guyanese and the Amerindians, that will each nominate 1 person, and that brings the total now to 10. So that is the changes that were made, that we arrived on and agreed upon.
Dr. Norton said before the recess, the appointive committee was prepared to make a report on the ERC in Parliament but was unable to do so because of other pressing issues that were on the agenda. According to him, the matter is up for discussion, where Parliament will be provided with a list for its approval, and once it is approved, the various entities will be written to nominate persons and to meet to appoint a new executive. The appointive committee chairman said he is hoping that it will be accepted by Parliament, noting that there is indeed a role for the ERC, and the new addition to the Commission will help to bring about the necessary changes needed for the Commission.
We hope that nobody will judge the function of the Ethnic Relations Commission that should form now on any past commission that existed before. Persons might have not been too comfortable with that which took place before or which existed before. But that is no reason for us to say that this upcoming Ethnic Relations Commission would be of a similar nature. Not at all. As a matter of fact, we hope not.
The ERC has been functioning without commissioners for some time now and currently does not have a chairman. While staff is attached to the Commission, there is little known about the work that they have been doing. The opposition during 2012 and 2013 national budget had cut funding for the constitutional body. Its former chairman, Bishop Juan Edgell, has now taken up post of junior finance minister. The ERC is a constitutional body established under the Herdmanston Accord and by Constitutional Amendment 2 Act of 2000 and assented to by the President of Guyana. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Signandan. With vision and determination, Queen's Atlantic Investment Inc. has made significant investments on the acquisition of state-of-the-art machinery and equipment for the hardware manufacturing division. The details in this story. The company Global Hardware Inc. was incorporated and became the first and only manufacturer of PPR pipes and fittings here in 2007. It hit the market with an innovative brand, EasyFlow, and a line of products that is not only the first in Guyana, but in the Caribbean as well. EasyFlow pipes and fittings are replacing the traditional low-longevity PVC, steel and cast-iron plumbing supply system hardware used for various streams of applications ranging from residential to industrial globally. With superior physical and chemical characteristics, the PPR pipes and fittings are the ideal choices for hot and cold water plumbing applications for the streams that are classified residential, commercial, industrial, and mining, thereby enabling high-quality performance. These products have working temperature range up to 95 degrees Celsius, very long service life of more than 50 years, and have strong chemical resistance, which provided solution to oxidation and calcification problems with no encrustation or bioburden. PPR is also the safest material in its handling, processing, and application as it is lead-free and food-grade. The pipe is used for hot and cold water, fluids, chemicals, compressed air in various plumbing installations, such as single layer with customized color for PPR pipes for indoor and outdoor installations, and 2 layers customized with any colors based on customers' requirement, also meeting the indoor or outdoor installations. These traits make the pipes manufactured by GHI superior for the water sector and food industry. GHI has the most appropriate infrastructure and enjoys several technological advantages with its well as an on-site quality assurance and quality control laboratory. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandan. Justice Karl Singh believes his permanent appointment to the position of Chancellor of the Judiciary is not one in which he should pronounce on, since Ghana's constitution makes it a political process of appointment. Liana Bradshaw reports.
Acting Chancellor of the Judiciary, Justice Karl Singh, says he would welcome whatever decision is made for the permanent appointment for the position he currently acts in. Singh deems it inappropriate for him to make a pronouncement on where he stands for the position, since it is generally a political process.
There is a formula which I believe has now become notorious, that the President must obtain the agreement of the Leader of the Opposition. The appointment to the office of Chancellor or to the office of Chief Justice is essentially a political process. And so it is whatever the President and the Leader of the Opposition find agreement on.
Justice Singh has been acting Chancellor of the Judiciary for the past 8 years. Earlier this year, opposition leader David Granger suggested that the posts of Chief Justice and Chancellor of the Judiciary be advertised. Cabinet Secretary Dr. Roger Luncheon, however, said Granger's proposal falls outside of the constitutional provisions and would be an all-new route which government is not prepared to embrace at this time. Former Chancellor of the Judiciary, Justice Cecil Kennard, last month said there is a need for long outstanding constitutional offices to be occupied by confirmed personnel. Outstanding positions include that of the Chief Justice, the Chancellor of the Judiciary, and the Ombudsman. Justice Kennard noted that consensus between the opposition and government is important in reaching a decision for confirmation of persons to these offices. For the Evening News, Liana Bradshaw.
Officials are still hopeful that the Ghana Family Court will become operational this year as more delays are being faced in operationalizing the entity. Liana Bradshaw joins us again to report that the commencement is being delayed this time round because of furnishings.
Acting Chancellor of the Judiciary, Justice Karl Singh, told this newscast today that everything else is in place to begin operations at the Family Court except for some pieces of furniture. He highlighted that some furnishings were already completed and installed in the facility.
All that is left is for the acquisition of appropriate furnishings for the building.
Meanwhile, as it relates to human resource capacity to carry out the functions of the facility, Justice Singh pointed out that the judge in charge of the court has already been identified but declined to reveal a name. He added too that judges from the High Court are being trained to adjudicate in the Family Court, noting that they are all competent enough to do so. The rules to govern the operations of the court have also been finalized and passed in the National Assembly in the latter part of 2012.
It would be different to the extent that the new rules make provision for it. Of course, there are new measures that are going to be adopted with recourse to mediation, with case management. Those would be new procedures that would differ from what presently obtains.
It is expected that the court will be mostly utilized by the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security through the Child Care and Protection Agency. For the Evening News, Liana Bradshaw.
Amid the increase in serious crimes in Ghana, the Donald Ramotar administration expressed disappointment at the functionality of criminal justice system as it endorsed the popular saying that justice delayed is justice denied. Svetlana Marshall has the details.
The 5% increase in serious crimes when compared to 2012 cannot go unnoticed, head of the Presidential Secretariat, Dr. Roger Luncheon, said when he addressed the press today at the office of the President. It was on this occasion Dr. Luncheon, on behalf of Cabinet, expressed disappointment in sections of the justice system, alluding to the right to bail and the lengthy period taken to conclude criminal matters.
It is incontrovertible that offenders on bail continue to prey on innocent Guyanese at home, at work, and elsewhere. It is equally true that prosecutions are slow, remand prisoners lists keep growing. More significantly, the right to bail is assured in our jurisdictions, but we do also have the right to enjoy our lives, our limbs, and our properties.
Additionally, he bashed the Alliance for Change and the Partnership for National Unity for their positions taken in the National Assembly, where they rejected the Firearm Amendment Bill presented by the Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohey. He said this rejection comes at a time when statistics show an increase in armed robberies.
Their posturing essentially presents Guyanese with a catch-22 situation. Guyanese of all walks of life and of all political persuasions have to contemplate the opposition's response to crime fighting, crime prevention, national security interventions by this administration.
Meanwhile, law enforcement national security agencies and their interventions will continue to be scrutinized in wake of the increase in criminal activities. Reporting for the Evening News, I'm Svetlana Marshall.
Svetlana Marshall joins us again, but this time to report that Cabinet Secretary Dr. Roger Luncheon has decried the slothful pace at which the opposition is handling affairs relating to the passage of the Anti-Money Laundering Bill. Here's more.
Head of the Presidential Secretariat, Dr. Roger Luncheon, said it is highly possible that Guyana will return to the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force (CFATF) in November empty-handed due to the delayed tactics employed by the Alliance for Change and the Partnership for National Unity. The government of Guyana had welcomed the move by the Parliamentary Select Committee to meet on October 14 to discuss the Anti-Money Laundering, Countering the Financing of Terrorism Amendment Bill, but Dr. Luncheon said the meeting failed to bear fruit.
Unfortunately, the outcome was so different. The outcome was so different. As was in the days just before the commencement of the recess, delay tactics were instituted by the opposition. Delays, and more delays.
The People's Progressive Party Civic Administration strongly believes that the opposition is plotting its next move on how to blame the government for the country's failure to enact the Anti-Money Laundering, Countering the Financing of Terrorism Amendment Bill. But he says the government has worked with stakeholders to produce a menu of measures and intervention to meet the new November deadline.
A one-seat parliamentary opposition majority is all that sits in the way of Guyana's enactment of the bill and the prevention of the disasters that have been identified by CFATF.
In May 2013, Guyana was placed by CFATF on a watch list for failing to meet and being non-compliant with all 16 requirements. CFATF, however, extended the deadline to November 2013, granting the country the opportunity to make the necessary amendments to the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating the Financing of Terrorism Act to avoid blacklisting. Reporting for the Evening News, I'm Svetlana Marshall.
In this report, you will hear that Venezuela and Guyana foreign ministers met earlier today in Trinidad and Tobago to discuss several issues relating to the seizure of a U.S. ship which was in Guyana's exclusive economic zone. Here's more. Foreign diplomats and government officials from Guyana and Venezuela met this afternoon in Port of Spain, Trinidad, to discuss the recent incident that saw a U.S. seismic vessel operating in Guyanese waters being seized by the Venezuelan Navy last Thursday. Foreign Affairs Minister Carolyn Rodriguez-Burkett told this newscast earlier today that the team will meet to discuss a way forward regarding the border issue between the two South American countries and the recent spat. The team from Guyana consisted of Minister Rodriguez-Burkett, Environment Minister Robert Persaud, Director General of Foreign Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Elizabeth Harper, Guyana's Ambassador Rudolph Keith George, Advisor Rudolph Collins, Guyana's Ambassador to UNASUR, and Deputy Commissioner of GGMC, Newell Dennison. The Venezuelan Navy had boarded the seismic vessel on Thursday in disputed waters off the coast of Guyana and sailed to its Venezuela's Margarita Island. Caracas accused the crew of operating illegally in Venezuelan waters. Government here is maintaining that the vessel was in Guyana's waters when this incident took place. The vessel, which had been contracted out of the United States, had been carrying out a survey of the seabed off the coast of Essequibo. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandan. Join us after these messages for more of the Evening News. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the Evening News. The government of Guyana has granted its no objection for 6 projects totaling $330.5 million when Cabinet met on October 15. During his post-Cabinet media briefing today, Cabinet Secretary Dr. Roger Luncheon disclosed that the sections of the Linden-Suzaik Highway in the vicinity of Regions 4 and 10 will be rehabilitated to the tune of $67.9 million. Additionally, $16.439 million will be utilized to execute emergency repairs to 5 lock bridges along the Linden-Suzaik Highway. Cabinet also granted its no objection for the installation of highway lights in the vicinities of Linden, Abari Bridge, and from number 44 to number 52 in Corentyne. This project will be executed during approximately $31.528 million. These were among projects approved under the Ministry of Public Works. Meanwhile, under the Health Ministry, Cabinet granted its no objection for the procurement of drugs for the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation totaling $42.5 million, while a hybrid catheterization laboratory will be constructed for the Caribbean Heart Institute to the tune of $31.499 million. Guyana has attracted the attention of the renowned professor Dr. C.N. Purandari, who is looking to lend assistance to the local health sector in the areas of obstetrics and gynecology. Here's this Leanna Bradshaw report.
Professor Dr. C.N. Purandari of the Federation of Gynecology and Obstetrics FIGO is in Guyana to conduct a number of assessments that would assist the Ministry of Health and the Georgetown Public Hospital with issues related to maternal health. FIGO is the international body governing gynecology and obstetrics, under which some 125 countries have affiliation. Dr. Purandari, who is expected to share his expertise for the benefit of Guyana's health system, said during his stint as president from 2015 to 2018, he will be addressing 3 main areas. The reduction in maternal mortality, he said, will be one of his areas of focus, given that many countries have not been able to achieve the Millennium Development Goals set out for this. The others include early diagnosis and treatment of cancer cervix and the breast, as well as family planning.
We have had very good meetings since I came here with the Minister of Health and as well as Dr. Roger Luncheon. And the problems that are faced by Guyana in these issues, which are very much similar to what we face in India, where there is diversity from cities to rural areas, which are absolutely unattended to at many places. So the scenario is more or less the same, so we could work better in that direction.
Meanwhile, responding to the question of the elimination of maternal death, he said this is highly unlikely.
Maternal mortality doesn't mean that it's only an obstetric cause. A woman has many other aspects. There is the cardiac issues, there are other issues which may be diabetes and severe hypertension, which may be pre-existing, and then they get pregnant, and then the body is not in a position to take care of the pregnancy which is carrying on, and these are the patients which will have difficulty in delivering, and the risk of maternal mortality is high. So there is high-risk pregnancy group, which is a known high-risk pregnancy group, and you can only do so much to reduce that, but going to zero is not going to happen.
For the evening news, Leanna Bradshaw.
Today, 2 Colombian nationals appeared in the Georgetown Magistrates Court after they were charged with forgery. 27-year-old Samir Eduardo Garcia Salarza of Bogota, Colombia, and Jamie Enrique, 52, of 18 15th Street, Bogota, Colombia, with the help of a translator, pleaded not guilty to charges, which stated that between February 17 and March 21, 2012, at Georgetown with intent to defraud, they conspired with person or persons unknown and forged 2 Republic of Ghana business visas, number 270 and 272, dated February 17, 2012, reporting to show that the same was issued by Central Immigration and Passport Office, knowing it to be false. There was no objection to bail, but bail was put forward by the prosecution, and it was granted in the sum of $100,000 for each defendant. The matter stands adjourned to October 31. Government students will now be able to learn how to speak Portuguese at the secondary level as the Education Ministry today launched the language curriculum into the school system, with 5 pilot schools kicking off the initiative. Sabatini Daniels reports.
The 5 pilot schools that the program will be implemented in are Queen's College, Bishop's High, St. Stanislaus College, St. Rose's and St. Joseph's High. Speaking at the launching, Education Minister Priya Manichan said since Brazil and Guyana enjoy close relations, persons learning Portuguese will only boost these relations further, and in turn this will benefit both nations.
While language will never stop Guyana from enjoying good relations with anyone, surely our familiarity with the language of the people of Brazil will help us to bolster that friendship and the relations that we enjoy, the benefits that we could get, the stories that the experiences that we could share to help us contribute to their country also. And so for us, this is another step in extending our relations with the Brazilian government and her people. And we are pleased that we're able to do that.
She stated that though Spanish and French are taught in schools, the country needs to examine if these subjects are still relevant as they used to be. She disclosed that the program is commencing with 5 schools since there are not enough teachers to teach the language in other schools, adding that the ministry will have to introduce the language in the Cyril Potter College of Education curricula. Head of the language department at QC, Candida Williams, encouraged students to learn the language.
Many of you may say, oh, we're having difficulties with Spanish, we're having difficulties with French, all right? So why Portuguese now? Remember, there is a large influx of Brazilians into this country, all right? They're opening a lot of businesses here, and many of you, you come into contact with them. Some of you even go on party, you hang out to a lot of these places where you have a lot of the Brazilians, and at least you want to be able to communicate with them, even if it's just the basic.
The language will commence being taught in grade 7 at the 5 schools. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
Join us after these messages for more news. Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. Police and soldiers recently chased a number of Brazilians and local miners off prospecting license claims during another round of Operation El Dorado aimed at ridding the hinterland of illegal mining. Brazilians have dominated mining operations in Ghana, but some local miners have complained that many of them are illegal. It is not the first time operations of this nature have nabbed Brazilians. In a statement, the Ministry of Natural Resources and the Environment said that the Ghana Geology and Mines Commission, GGMC, continues to crack down on illegal mining. It said that the GGMC team recently conducted a series of monitoring and enforcement exercises within the mining districts with a primary focus on prospecting property holders. This exercise was conducted utilizing services of the Ghana Police Force and Air Corps, the Ghana Defense Force, to conduct aerial as well as ground reconnaissance. According to the statement, the exercise resulted from complaints from PL holders and other property holders of raiding by illegal miners, including Brazilians. Quote, investigations revealed several illegal mining operations were present on a property that is intended for only prospecting purposes. The Commission has since been instructed to take the necessary actions against the license holder as provided under the Mining Act, the statement added. Minister of Natural Resources and the Environment Robert Persaud has stressed that the ban of mercury will not severely impact on small miners. Sabatini Daniels explains more.
The government, through the Natural Resources Ministry, recently signed on to the Minamata Convention on Mercury, a new international pact to control mercury emissions and gradually phase out its use altogether. Prior to the signing, local small miners had been nervous about plans to ban the dangerous mercury, stating that there is no immediate cheaper way to recover gold since mercury is used in the extraction process. However, government has actively been encouraging miners to lessen the use of mercury, which poses long-term health and environmental challenges. But today, Natural Resources Minister Robert Persaud said that signing on to the convention to ban mercury will not have a severe impact on small mining.
Because this is not an immediate ban, this is not an immediate prohibition, but rather what the convention requires us to do is to develop national action plan to reduce its use and ensure its safe handling and eventually the phasing out of it within the sector.
He added too that as part of the convention there will be no new mercury mining, but rather countries that are already engaged will be given 20 years after the convention comes into practice to stop producing mercury.
Over time it will perhaps be scarce and then not be available globally because the convention also requires some level of restriction on its trading.
He noted that the ban will only lead to positive benefits in the country. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
Join us after these messages for your Evening News Sportcast, sponsored by Maccorp. Welcome back, and now for a look at sport in your headlines. Lucrative Ghana Softball Cup set for November 8 to 10. IGG Games off to Suriname. And West Indies youth grab morale-boosting win against Bangladesh. The Inter-Ghana Games IGG team departed for the second leg of the event in Suriname this morning to represent Ghana in athletics, volleyball, swimming and basketball. All four of the disciplines have been hard at work in preparation of the event and should be able to produce admirable performances. Chief the mission of the team, Dr. Karen Pilgrim, believes that the athletics and volleyball should be the two teams to do well at the Games. Dr. Pilgrim was a bit skeptical about the male basketball team because of its inexperience, but hung her hopes on the female squad that it will have most of its players from last year returning. The team is expected to start competition on October 18 as basketball is set to be the first sport to start their competition. The highly anticipated third annual Ghana Softball Cup will be held from November 8 to 10, with 24 teams from Florida, Toronto and Ghana set to do battle for lucrative prizes. According to the organizers, the three-day competition is expected to be bigger and better, with a high level of rivalry anticipated among the teams. Avinash Ramzan attended the launch and has the details in this report.
The competition will see preliminary action in 2 categories on November 8 and 9, with the finals set for November 10 at a GCC ground border. The tournament will see rivalry in the Open T20 and Masters T20, with the teams battling for over $1.8 million in cash along with trophies and medals. The competition is being organized by the Guyana Floodlight Softball Cricket Association, and Lalta Gaynda, speaking on behalf of President Ramchand Ragbir, who was unavoidably absent, said they are pleased to welcome their regular group of sponsors who have stuck with the tournament during the past 3 years.
When you have repeat sponsorship, it tells you, and we in Floodlight feel very confident that the fact that we have so many repeat sponsors, people keep wanting to remain on board and to support this event, it tells us that the Guyana Cup is a fantastic product. People want to be associated. It means that they were happy in the past 2 years and they're happy to be here again. So we are really thankful for that. We are going to make a commitment to the sponsors today that, look, we are going to make the Guyana Cup 3 even better. So we are going to fulfill the confidence that you've put in us as sponsors to assist in bringing this cup to fruition.
Chairman and coordinator of the Guyana Cup, Ricky Dienerine, was on hand to explain the format of the competition, which started in 2011.
Guyana Softball Cup 3 will feature 24 teams in a 3-day tournament playing on November 8, 9, and 10. Those 24 teams, 10 would be from North America and 14 local. A breakdown of the North American teams are 6 from New York, 2 from Florida, and 2 from Canada, against 14 local teams.
Several sponsors also stated their delight about being part of the tournament.
Softball is on a rise in Guyana, everybody knows that now. And we're very happy to be a part of this tournament. And we know that it would be a success. And just hope that it continues for years to come and go bigger and bigger.
Top Brands Distributors is pleased to be on board this year yet again. More so, we brought on board one of our latest edition, that is the Corona Beer. And we know this partnership will go a long way, and so the participating team made the best one win.
It is indeed a great privilege for Clearwaters to be a part of yet another edition of this wonderful entertainment for us. Softball is on the rise in Guyana, everybody knows that, but it's the quality of cricket that we're getting. Every single year we turn up at these events. For the past 2 years, this is the 3rd edition, and there is a higher and higher standard of softball cricket being played.
I can foresee in the future that it will be something that we will be on board with. He has worked out a formula to show me how softball is the most popular game in the Caribbean. And so I want to say that we're not going to be here just as a fly-by-night, but we're going to continue through Mr. Gaynda, and even if Mr. Gaynda is not on board, that we will continue to make that commitment.
To the participating teams, I want to bid you good luck, and to the organizing team, I want to also bid you good luck in bringing this tournament off. May it be very successful.
The defending champions of the competition are New York Softball Cricket League All-Stars in the Open category and Savage of Guyana in the Masters division.
Preston McSween followed up a half-century from Teachinran Chandrapal with a destructive spell to spur West Indies under-19s to a 67-run victory over Bangladesh in their 5th Youth One-Day International on Wednesday at the National Stadium. McSween grabbed 4 for 20 from 8.3 overs as the Windies under-19 successfully defended a target total of 178 to claim victory on the Delights at Providence. Chandrapal led the way with 51 as the West Indies under-19s were dismissed for 177 in 46.2 overs after their typical struggles against the visitors' spin bowlers. The penultimate match of the series will be contested on Saturday at the Albion Sports Complex, located approximately 62 miles east of the Guyana capital of Georgetown. Do remember that these and other stories can be read in tomorrow's edition of the Guyana Times newspaper, which can be purchased from vendors across the country. When you are not reading our newspaper or watching TVG Channel 28, do tune in to Radio Guyana Inc. on 89.3, 89.5 or 89.7 FM. Join us after these messages for your bridge reports. Welcome back, and now for a look at your bridge reports. The Denver Harbor Bridge will be closed on Friday, October 18 at 14 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. And the Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Friday, October 18 at 15 hours 40 for a period of 1.5 hours. That's your Thursday, October 17, 2013 edition of the Evening News. I'm Samuel Suknandon. Thanks for joining us.